In boxing, a lot of people have, or a lot of people do take advantage of other people, and it's happened throughout boxing history. How have you got into Tyson's inner circle, and obviously now you're the main man in the corner? How's that come about?
Well, I was working with Billy Joe. I've worked with Billy Joe for a number of years, and we went away on a training camp over in Marbella, MTK Marbella, and Tyson come over. I didn't think nothing of it. He was just joining in some sessions and we'd done some work together. Then he started hinting to me about taking the job on, etc. And I said to him, you know, look, take your time. You haven't got to rush into any decisions. Obviously, it was a massive task ahead. He kept on about it, and eventually we ended up here.
What were your first impressions of Tyson when you met him?
My first impressions was when we... Obviously, I'd met Tyson, and I knew sort of about his, not many times, only once or twice, and I knew sort of what sort of character he was and what he was going through at the time. And when he come over, I thought he's not interested in doing any boxing. But it was a bit of company anyway for Billy Joe throughout the 2-week training camp that we was doing. Anyway, I remember wrapping him up. He got gloved up and we got in the ring, and I remember he just stood there, looked at me and laughed, and he was just so happy to start doing a bit of training. I thought, that was when I thought, maybe he does want to come back, and he's still got love for the sport.
But he was in a bad spot, so why was he talking to you? Why was he opening up to you, and how did you guys get so close during that phase where he was flying off the rails in many respects?
All through the boxing, really. He was enjoying the training, and he liked the training, was having a good time, and we just clicked. Some people just click, you know, and we talk about the same stuff, enjoy the same sort of things, and have a similar sort of thought process, and we just got on.
And then there was the acid test for you and Tyson, which was you had to go and get the phone number of 2 girls to prove your loyalty to him. Is that right? Is that how it went?
It's not how it went. That's not exactly how it went. Anyways, there was a coffee shop down the front that we used to go to, and 2 girls walked past, very good-looking girls, and it was a bit of boys' banter. Oh, we could get the numbers, this, that, and the other. And it was a bit of an ego thing, really. It weren't to get the numbers for him, that's for sure. It's to get the numbers for myself. So they was trying to give me a bit of stick about I didn't have the minerals to go up to them. So I said, right, watch this then, wallop.
Was it the actual number?
It was the actual number, and I think I've still got it in my phone.
What was the more daunting part of the job? Was it taking on the lineal heavyweight champion of the world, or was it the job that was facing you, a massive overweight Tyson Fury?
Probably the second, to be honest, the latter, because at first he come in the gym and I knew what his personality was like. I got to know him by this point, and he sort of blew hot and cold. And I thought my main goal at the minute, at first, before getting him back into condition, was getting his love back for the sport, him enjoying it and wanting to train. When you're killing somebody day in, day after, and you're sore for a few days, you don't want to keep pushing yourself and pushing yourself. So it was about getting the right level of intensity.
So drip feeding him pad work and that kind of stuff.
And making the sessions fun, you know, rather than just telling him to slog it out and exercise and get the weight off. So that was the main goal. To be honest with you, Frank Warren come through with the best offer. It was the offer that Frank Warren come through with was all about making sure that Tyson got what he needed to get, and had the time on his hands because nobody knew how long it'd take at first. You know, it was a mammoth task. It was mission impossible, to be honest with you, at first. Everybody thought he was finished. A lot of people thought he was finished, and you know, to be honest, sometimes I would sit on the sofa and look across, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't know if this job can be done. But we both sort of took a risk on each other. You know, I had a gym back home, I had family back home, I had things going well for myself back home, and you know, I had to take a risk on whether he was going to commit to it or not, and go through with it, and go through that mammoth task and the hard work that it's been. You know, I had to trust him that he was going to do that, and he had to put his trust in me that I could give him the level of what he needed.
He took some flack for Cephary, obviously because Tyson's the name on the poster. He's the one that will get a lot of the criticism. Does he take any of that criticism to heart?
He's not bothered, you know. He's not bothered about things like that. You're always going to get it no matter what.
He used to take some of the stuff a bit personally, but now he's just become hardened to it now because he's been through so much. Is that right? Exactly,
yeah. He did say that. He said to me that, you know, at first he used to boil his blood, but now it doesn't affect him, no.
What do you think the public perception is of Tyson now? There seems to be quite a lot of warmth towards him now. He's come out and talked about mental health so colourfully. and he's obviously turned things around so dramatically from being overweight and huge and being nowhere near where he was championship level to now coming into what's probably the biggest fight of his life.
Yeah, you know, Tyson's a controversial character, and he feels like he had to be controversial to get the public to know about him, you know. Now the public know about him, you know, he can be himself, and I think the public's starting to learn more about Tyson himself and see what the real Tyson's like, and they're obviously warming to him.
What is the real Tyson like?
A gentleman. He's an absolute gentleman. He's got good morals, an emotional character, but a real fighter as well at the same time.
How's he changed in the 2 years that you've been around him? Because obviously he was on that emotional roller coaster at the start where he was overweight and not training regularly, and now he's obviously on the cusp of this mega fight with Deontay Wilder. How's he changed personally? Not as hot and cold as he was?
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, night and day. Night and day, because what people can see physically is night and day itself, isn't it? Would you say so?
Yeah.
That's probably about 10% of how he's changed, you know. At some points during this transition and this journey, at the very beginning, I thought to myself, if I can just make this man happy and enjoying life again, that's a job well done for me. And it makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up talking about it, because nobody will ever know the deepness and the truth of this journey, you know. I just wanted to see this man back happy and enjoying life again, and from the position that he was in to where he is now is unexplainable, to be honest. There's not even words I could come out with it.
What does he think of Deontay Wilder? They've done the press tour together, they spent some time together. What does he make of him?
Although they give each other a bit of stick, and obviously the press tour was entertaining, and you know, people say about it being set up, it definitely wasn't set up. It's two fighting men. The problem is they're both unbeaten. They've both got unbelievable self-belief. They both believe that they're the best, and that's going to cause that friction when two characters like that come together. It's going to cause that. Doesn't mean that they dislike each other, and definitely wasn't set up any of that, but he knows that Deontay Wilder's a very, very good fighter, a very good champion. He's definitely got respect for Deontay Wilder, but we've got a job to do.
So how highly do you rate Deontay Wilder?
I think he's the most dangerous fighter in world boxing. He's a freak of nature, similar to Tyson, but they've both got different attributes, being freak of natures. He's 6'7", weighs about 15.5 stone. He's lightning quick, punches like a horse kicking. He's got a long reach. You know, he's a very, very dangerous man, and I've said it before, and I think that this win will be the biggest win in history boxing, coming from where Tyson's come from. And I might be biased, but knowing where Tyson's come from, I believe that this will be the biggest win in history of boxing.
Tyson's reached the top of the mountain before and fallen off the other side. What's to stop him falling again?
His team. His team's going to play a big role in it. His family. I think sometimes it takes for you to lose what you had to realise what you had. And I think Tyson's done that now. He knows what he's had. We've had many, many, many discussions on this topic. And I've told him what I think he needs to do to keep himself on the straight and narrow and happy in life. And, you know, I told him from the absolute beginning what he was missing from his life was routine and structure and consistency in that period. And it plays a massive role in anybody's life, anybody. I believe that people's most happiest times are when they have a routine and structure, because when you're left to your own devices day in, day out, there is no, you don't know whether you're coming or going, and you can't really be happy with that.
Do you feel with this Wilder fight and with everything he's overcome, has Tyson already won, or is that not even part of the story? Is the win only when he gets the green belt, should he get it? Or is the win going on and defending a championship or winning or unifying? Or is what he's overcome now, is that enough?
Depends on people's perception, because, you know, for me, like I said to you before, getting this man back happy again is the biggest achievement I've done, whether he went and won this fight or not. Because if he won this fight and was still in the position mentally that he was before, not good enough, because like you said, he'd go straight back to where he was before. daily, like I said to you, I'm looking after his social media daily. He gets thousands of messages of people saying, you've inspired me, you've stopped me from doing this, you've stopped me from doing that, across all social media. You know, the amount of people, he's probably saved thousands of people's lives that he doesn't even know about. He doesn't even know them. And the fact that he's open and talking about it now and giving people that inspiration, that's a bigger win than anything in the world. How many people can say they've done that? Not many. People win world titles, not many people can save thousands of people's lives that they don't even know. You know, it's that's the real big win. But this is the icing on the cake, and you know, he's God hasn't brought him from where he's come from to here to lose this fight.